So I noticed yesterday when I was eating my breakfast muffin, I was really enjoying it, but it wasn't nearly enough for breakfast. And the other thing about it was, this is my breakfast muffin. Well, this is a scuffin. It's a cross between a muffin and a scone. Anyway, what I noticed was it wasn't nearly enough to fill me up for breakfast. And of all things, it doesn't include any greens. And if you're going to get an adequate amount of greens during the day, which is 3 servings of greens in addition to 3 servings of other vegetables, that you really have to make sure you get some of those greens or those fruits and vegetables in the morning for your breakfast. And so I think what I decided was I needed a green smoothie with my muffin or scone, and that's what we're going to do today. So hopefully you'll be able to see me and what I'm doing a little bit. In this green smoothie, this is going to be from Forks Over Knives. It's the big green smoothie that they make in their program, but it also is very similar to the one from Mayo Clinic, and it's also very similar to a green smoothie that I normally make in my own practice and I recommend people to use. What this is going to consist of is a smoothie that is a little less on the sweet side. And that's one of the things that you'll need to get used to as you're making smoothies, is that they don't have to be sweet. We think of smoothies as being sweet, but they don't have to be. And you can make a smoothie that's maybe a small amount of sweetness or no sweetness at all. Maybe you like something that's just more refreshing for your smoothie. So experiment a little bit with all of these things. But when I'm going to make a smoothie for breakfast, I want it to be a green smoothie because I need those greens and I need those veggies. And believe me, it's not difficult to get fruit in your day. Fruit is, everybody loves fruit, some kinds of fruit. So that's not a hard thing to get into your day. It's the veggies and the greens, and that's 3 veggies a day and 3 servings of greens a day. And this is going by Dr. Michael Greger's program for the Daily Dozen that you'll find on his site, nutritionfacts.org. And I highly recommend that site. And the information as far as being research-based is exceptional. So take a look at that site for some of the research that backs up these recommendations. So today, just the smoothie. I will be using kale, and you can see, like a vase, I fill it with water, and my kale lasts at least a week, and sometimes a couple of weeks. I chopped that kale, and it's right here, and we'll be putting that into the blender. I think their recipes, both Mayo Clinic and Forks Over Knives, they call for spinach, but I'm going to use kale for several reasons. Well, kale, first of all, is loaded with, it is just nutrient packed. It's a dark green leafy vegetable that has what we call phthalates. And phthalates are one of the things that helps your body recognize that you're full. But there are numerous other nutrients in kale that are going to be just incredible for your health. So chopped kale, I did about 1.5 cups. I'm going to put a little bit of parsley because I have that in the fridge, but you can put cilantro, you can put any other kind of veggies. And normally in my green smoothie, I would use, the mix, it's called the spring mix from Walmart, but the ones that I could get there this week weren't that good, so I wasn't going to pay good money for that. And I decided to go ahead and get kale because it's exceptional. But any kind of leafy greens, if you want arugula, if you want baby kale, baby spinach, all of those things are really good and can be used in place of this 1.5 cups of kale that I'm using. And then I used a couple tablespoons of parsley, but cilantro would work just as well. I'm going to use a little bit of cucumber. They called for mini cucumbers, and the ones I find are at Walmart, organic mini cucumbers. They're about this size. They're very small. And I also find that you have to use them pretty quickly when you buy them because they don't last a long time. They don't have preservatives. And so over the 2 to 3 days after I buy them, I use them up in salads. So this is a great way to do it, is in smoothies. Don't peel that green off, you need it. In this smoothie, they called for, at least on Forks Over Knives, they called for using hemp. And I will use some hemp today. Hemp is high in protein. It's a seed. I found it finally again this is Kirkland brand at Costco. But it's been a while since I've been able to find organic hemp. And my Costco here doesn't carry it. I bought that in New Jersey when I visited my parents and brought it back with me. And then I will be using some flax because flax has numerous health benefits. It's quite anti-inflammatory. This particular flax has the lowest amount of cadmium that they found in flax products when they tested them recently. This particular one I find at Walmart, and this is ground flax. I'll be using about a tablespoon. And then for sweetness, they call for 1/4 of a banana. Even when I chop off that banana, it doesn't go bad. I can use the rest tomorrow. Or what really happens is my husband comes along and eats the rest of the banana, and that is not bad. Okay, that's not all bad. So I'll put a little bit of banana for sweetening, even though I normally don't need the sweetening so much. But you can use more banana. You can use an apple if you want. I have some blueberries left over that need to be used, and I'm going to put those in my smoothie today. You can use some raspberries. Strawberries are what Mayo Clinic recommends, and strawberries are quite good, especially for your heart. But all of these berries are jam-packed with antioxidants, so don't hesitate to use them. And they call for, one of those two recipes calls for a little bit of lemon, and I'll put a little bit in mine. Now, Dr. Greger also has on his nutritionfacts.org site a wonderful smoothie, and it's a veggie smoothie. He calls it V12 instead of V8. And in his V12 smoothie, I noticed he needs a lot of flavor in the way of spicy things. So he uses some horseradish, some Tabasco, some jalapeno peppers. That's not the kind of smoothie I'm making here. This is going to be more of a lemony, sweet, I don't know. It's going to be all the people who responded to the comments about this smoothie said it was just very refreshing. And the other thing I'm going to do in this particular smoothie that will be different from what you're used to is that I'm going to use water. You can use tea, you can use water, which is the simplest, or you can use a plant-based milk like soy. If I need more soy in my diet, I'll go ahead and use some of that. If I need more protein in this, that would be a really good option also. Soy has the added benefit of helping you decrease your risk for breast cancer if you are using organic soy. Please don't use non-organic because you'll have the opposite effect. And so organic soy milk with no other flavorings. I like West Soy brand for that. All right, I'm going to turn this off, mix all this up, and show you what it looks like. I don't have a high-speed blender, which is why I chopped most of what I put in here. And so it may take a little bit longer to blend these all together. So I'll show you in a minute. What I want to show you is that I went ahead and used some raspberries, so 1/2 cup of raspberries and blueberries and a little bit of banana, which is more than I usually use for my smoothies in terms of fruit, but still all of those are wonderful. So don't hesitate to use what you really like and to make this a smoothie that you really like. I always tell my clients, when you make a smoothie, it's your creation, name it so that you have your own version of it. And they usually do. In this case though, I said, I'm gonna go ahead and I just squeezed the lemon in there and put the banana. And I put a tablespoon each of the flax and the hemp. You can use nuts if you want, but that's another one on the Daily Dozen. Dr. Greger suggests that we have a serving of nuts a day, and that's another one that I don't have any trouble getting enough of. It's kind of like fruit, no problem with that either. So I didn't put a lot of nuts, but I do like the hemp and the flax in this. I think it's a really good choice for me anyway. Let me go ahead and blend it, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So I blended it, and this brings up something pretty important. My green smoothies don't necessarily turn out green, especially when I add something like blueberries to them. And so If you wanted this to be a bright green smoothie, you should probably stick to maybe the strawberries at the most in terms of reds. In Forks Over Knives, they suggest using mango, which is also excellent. And mango would probably allow this to be a more bright green color. I used to worry about when it turned brownish, but I don't anymore. I thought, well, I'll add a little bit of cinnamon, which cinnamon would be wonderful in this and really nutritious. And you could add a little bit of cocoa, like a dark Ghirardelli's baking cocoa. Just a little bit would also give you some antioxidants, and they have a tremendous amount of antioxidants in cocoa. So that would be another thing you can add to a dark green or a dark brown smoothie like this. I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy this. I'm gonna microwave my Scuffin and warm it and have a glass of this for my breakfast. And that will be a nice amount of vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, grains in my breakfast. So really good balance of everything. Actually, I think it depends on what angle you look at this. It's either a deep green, like forest green, but not as brown as I thought. And let me just taste it for us, just so you know. Ooh, it's much milder than you expect it to be. It's very mild, slightly sweet. You can taste a tiny bit of lemon in there. It's actually very good. And people were right. It is on the refreshing side. I think I would call it refreshing. Nice. Okay. Go out and have a great day, everybody.